Hey friends, welcome to day 3 of April is for Alchemy, and today we are covering the subject of resources represented by our planet. I don't know if you can see here, Jupiter. So that's the ancient symbol for the planet Jupiter. It's like the fancy number 4. And I hope you had fun yesterday covering some of the ways time manifests in your art practice and in your inner self, in your sense of values for how much time you carve out for yourself to make art. Because resources definitely plays out from that. One of the most difficult hurdles an artist will face in any generation and era is resources, access to them, financial resources, material resources, emotional resources, inspirational resources. I mean, resources is a very broad category. In fact, I probably won't be able to encapsulate all that you could dive into. But I hope as you work with me over the next 30 days, you understand that these are just starters, little tidbits. I'd say even since COVID, with the change in inflation and manufacturing, access to artistic resources become a bit of an issue for artists as well, and learning to adapt to that change. One of the highlights of the Artist Oracle is it fosters self-reliance and self-esteem, believing in your own ability to manifest the things that you need and value for your art and your art practice and your life in general. Obviously both influence each other. So today, as you reflect on resources and on the planet Jupiter, which has characteristically always been described as resourceful, Jupiter is jovial, is bountiful, is the giver. So when we are thinking about our inner resources, our inner Jupiter, if you will, we have the power to manifest those things, and how we think about them and how we go about our day and what headspace we're in actually affects those abilities to make it happen. Getting outside, going for a walk, making good use of your time, and gathering photo resources. This is, we had some snow again here in Oakbank, Manitoba. It's April, come on, get the memo, weather. But this is inspiring to me, and it's got me thinking of making some of those cyanotype pictures and gathering dried goods that are, littered as the snow recedes again. So resources can come in many guises. There's resources physically for your studio to maintain it, access to money, financial resources to get a website going, or if you're just a hobby artist or somebody who does it for an internal benefit, time is that resource. Access to private space, quiet space, and access to things that foster growth for you, other people's podcasts, relationships. Those are things that become resources as well. Here I gathered some dried hydrangea that I found in along the path today. So resources come in many different forms. So as you're working on the prompt today, you can do it brainstorm style, get a sheet of loose leaf, write resources on top, write the pros, the cons, where you're at, your vices, your virtues, your complaints, celebrate your, successes. That's one way to approach this prompt. You could definitely check out the James Webb Telescope for the planet's new photos. There are some beautiful photos showcasing the brilliant colors that exist on Saturn and Jupiter. So if you want to keep your prompt challenges a little more cosmic, you can definitely have some fun researching the planets and maybe painting them. I'm giving some thought to maybe doing a little bit of that for you guys later today. So have fun interpreting the prompt for Jupiter, the prompt for resources, any way you see fit. Feel free to share and tag. I would love. Another thing that prompted making my own paint, so if you want to revisit that, it's here at Running with Rainbows in January. I did 4 weeks of Color Wonder on how to make your own acrylic and watercolor paint. So that was tackling one of my own time and resource issues, was sustaining watercolor practice, understanding how watercolor was made so that I could feel comfortable selling it professionally and knowing how long it would last and maintain. I mean, all of that came from addressing a resource issue for me. So I love making my own paint. I love empowering it. It empowers me. It's a whole cyclical process of giving and getting. So if you're looking for something to do this summer or this spring, feel free to jump back into January. There's a PDF to accompany the workshop if you like, if you want to do some writing and keep some notes. That is available on Etsy as a digital download. If you do opt into that, please download it on a computer and not your phone, because Etsy advises that just in case. So Here's the collage that I did for last year's April is for Alchemy for the planet Jupiter. So I had a lot of fun. There's the red spot on the planet, just using different books and stuff I had on hand. But you can find free resources at your local library a lot of the time. They're giving away a lot of old books. You can photocopy your resources. That way you have pictures that you like, you can reuse in different art that you go forward. One of the main things that I learned under Jupiter, under the highlight of resources, was understanding my materials and knowing how I could layer them. That way I'm not just throwing out art when I don't like it. So I do a lot of watercolor because I know I can paint on top of that with acrylic paint, and I can go on top of my acrylic paint with mark making tools and pastels and other things. So you don't have to create a lot of waste when you're working in your art. In fact, your waste can become one of your prime sources of new material. And that is one of the great things I learned being an artist.